Happy Marchintosh! For this Marchintosh, my goal was to connect this SE30 and the ImageWriter 2 printer, which has the scribbler option to allow LOCALTALK connection to go through it. My goal was to share both of these devices on the Global Talk network. I was successfully able to do this for 3/4 of the month. However, this past weekend, the printer option was no longer visible on the SE30. I did not know where the problem was, and so I had to bring out all my troubleshooting skills to determine where it was. Fortunately, I had some additional items in order to test or see where the problem was, not knowing whether it was the LOCALTALK connectors, the telephone cable that goes between it, the terminators that were on it. It was very difficult to diagnose when you have only one set. When you have multiple sets, you're able to do a much better job of doing diagnosis. I was able to bring out my power computing system here, which was able to connect up to the LOCALTALK network. I purchased new telephone connections and then started to do my testing in a better way now that I had 3 devices on the LOCALTALK network. The version of the power computing system was 7.5.5. 7.5 does not have an option for an ImageWriter connected via LOCALTALK as a driver extension. You must load that from a previous version like 7.1. I'm very fortunate to have many blue SCSIs which allow very easy manipulation of the boot images. So I was able to load that boot image on my regular laptop using a program called Basilisk, able to copy the driver extension onto the system folder and bring it back. But I didn't know where the problem was. I used the excellent program on this Macintosh called Netminder, which allows you to snoop and listen to Apple Talk packets. If you start this, you'll see from time to time there will be a total packet will increase. It'll go up by 1. The reason why this is going up by 1 is because the LOCALTALK network itself will have different connections that are happening on it, and this is able to detect those. What I did then is I even used my eMate, which is a Newton device, to start a query and try to see if you could see it on the Netminder LOCALTALK service. So by doing that, I would select here, go into computer, select this, and this which is connected via LOCALTALK will then come back and appear on the system, and you'll see it bringing up the number of packets that are on it. This eMate is actually sending packets. This tells me that my LOCALTALK network itself is correct. It is terminated in the correct way, and it's able to pass communications. If you stop and you look at this device and look at the packets that are coming out, you see what they're doing. You get an idea that there are broadcasts and there's some communications that are happening as well that are going on to this system. And that's what you want. You want to make sure that that's the case. This led me to the next program, which allows you to actually see which devices are visible on your local network. I use the excellent program just give me a moment. Interpol, which is the program that allows you to query everything that's actually on your LOCALTALK network, and it'll enumerate all the devices. And it continues to scan for new devices over time. So here you will see that I see my ImageWriter that's on the LOCALTALK network with the node 166. This told me that I'm in fact able to see the communications go through this little LOCALTALK network. That eliminated the fact that the cabling was incorrect, the different LOCALTALK connectors were incorrect, because communication was happening. Only communication from this SE30 was not functioning correctly. I tried booting this with 2 different images that came with the blue SCSI where you're able to boot from. The first image was a 608 image. I used the chooser to try to determine if it could see anything. It cannot. Then I also used the 7.1 image that's provided by Disc Jockey, and that also did not see anything. So that tells me that unfortunately the serial ports on this SE30 are experiencing a problem. I don't know what the problem is at this point in time. That's to be determined, but I do know that this SE30 now cannot communicate over the LOCALTALK network, where it was working before. How do I know that it was working before? Because this system is hooked up to GlobalTalk, I did have some people print on it using the shared printer services that are available through the Apple Internet router. I was also able to test to see if there's a problem with the serial ports on this system by connecting it to an Apple Scribe printer. This is an actual thermal printer, typically used with an Apple IIc, but it works fine when connected to a Mac using the appropriate cable. And you're able to use the ImageWriter driver on it to be able to print thermal copies of different output, straight using the ImageWriter driver. So thank you very much for your time. This is my GlobalTalk message, and I hope everybody has a great Marchintosh. Thank you.